Season 4 of Bridgerton may officially focus on Benedict and Sophie, but if you look closely, the season is quietly doing something much more interesting. Beneath the main romance, the show is carefully preparing the emotional path for Eloise's future story. At the same time, Francesca's arc is moving forward in a more visible way, which has created a big debate among fans about who will lead Season 5. And honestly, there are strong clues pointing in both directions. First, let's talk about what Season 4 is clearly doing on the surface. The main love story between Benedict Bridgerton and Sophie Beckett follows the classic Cinderella-style journey inspired by Julia Quinn's novel An Offer from a Gentleman. Over the course of the season, Benedict grows emotionally in a big way. He begins as the charming but somewhat directionless second son, but through his relationship with Sophie, he finally understands that love is about true connection, not social rank. By the end of the season, Benedict feels more grounded than ever, and his arc wraps up in a satisfying and very traditional Bridgerton fashion. Now, when we shift focus to Francesca Bridgerton, her storyline appears to be moving forward very clearly. Her marriage to John Sterling looks peaceful and emotionally steady, which fits perfectly with Francesca's quiet personality. However, the writers are dropping subtle hints that her journey is far from complete. The introduction of Michaela Sterling is a major signal that bigger emotional developments are coming. On top of that, the show quietly suggests that Francesca may be struggling with the physical side of her marriage. It's a small detail, but in Bridgerton, small details usually mean big future drama. Because of this, many viewers believe Francesca is being positioned as the next lead. And to be fair, that theory makes sense on the surface. But the more interesting and possibly more strategic setup is happening with Eloise Bridgerton. At first glance, Eloise's storyline in Season 4 feels almost quiet. After her intellectual spark with Theo Sharpback in Season 2 and her emotional fallout with Penelope Featherington in Season 3, she doesn't have a major romantic focus this time. If the show were strictly following the books, we might have expected movement towards Sir Philip Crane by now, especially considering the events up to Sir Philip with love. But this quiet phase may actually be the biggest clue of all. Emotionally, Eloise is now standing in a very lonely place. One by one, the people closest to her are moving into new stages of life. Penelope is married to Colin Bridgerton and embracing motherhood. Benedict is finding lasting love. Francesca is already settled in marriage. Even Hyacinth Bridgerton is looking ahead to her future debut. Slowly but surely, Eloise is being left behind, and the show is making sure we feel that shift. In earlier seasons, Eloise always had a strong driving purpose. Her obsession with Lady Whistledown gave her energy. Her connection with Theo gave her intellectual excitement. Her conflict with Penelope gave her emotional tension. But now in Season 4, that clear sense of direction is missing. And instead of being a mistake, this feels very intentional. In the books by Julia Quinn, Eloise's love story begins when she starts to feel exactly this way, isolated and uncertain about her place in the world. After Penelope marries Colin, Eloise begins corresponding with Sir Philip through letters. What starts as polite communication slowly grows into something deeper and more emotional. Eventually, Eloise makes a bold decision to secretly visit him, setting her entire love story into motion. The show appears to be carefully recreating those emotional conditions. Rather than rushing her into romance, the writers seem to be slowly isolating Eloise and allowing her worldview to evolve naturally. She is watching marriage happen all around her, the very future she once strongly questioned. But instead of suddenly changing her personality, the show is letting her quietly wonder what she truly wants. That slow internal shift feels very true to Eloise's character. There's also an important hint from Claudia Jessie, who has suggested that Eloise is still searching for her own unique way of loving. She has made it clear that when Eloise's romance arrives, it will not be traditional. That perfectly aligns with her eventual connection with Sir Philip, whose relationship with Eloise in the books is built more on letters, ideas, and emotional understanding than ballroom chemistry. So while Francesca's story is progressing through visible life events, Eloise's setup is happening on a deeper emotional level. Her growing loneliness, her shifting perspective on marriage, and her quiet separation from the people she once relied on all strongly mirror the early stages of her book arc. Season May 4th not loudly announce Eloise as the next lead, but the groundwork is clearly being laid. And because of that, there is still a very strong possibility that Eloise could step into the spotlight in Season 5 sooner than many fans expect. So the big question remains, who do you think is truly next? Will Eloise finally take center stage, Or is Francesca's love story about to move forward first?